too often we minimize, we don't appreciate, we undervalue the riches of the glory in the saints, aka the church, not an organization, but the people of the church. We take it for granted. We place the priority too low. Oh, it's just church. Oh, yeah, I know I ought to go to church, but... And we put a million things underneath it. And none of you said that today. But there are others that have, from this church or from many churches. Because it's become, in many people's minds, Christians' minds, church is just this thing that we do, and if I punch the clock and do it so often, that's okay. Or if I just watch some videos on YouTube, that's good enough. I get the information that I need, and I read my Bible and I read some good books. That's not church. That's not the fellowship of the saints. That's not iron sharpening iron, man sharpening man. That's not the working of God's plan. The plan is, don't forsake the assembling yourselves together, as is the habit of some, especially as you see the day approaching. Gather together, be molded, be shaped. We are like living stones, lively stones, fitted together into a holy habitation unto the Lord. You don't like this church? Go to another church, but find another church. Don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together, because that is rich in glory. We think it too little because we put the world's assessment of value on it. Oh, it's just another thing to do. And you know what? I'll bet right now, pretty soon, there's a football game going to happen. I mean, I know the Steelers play tonight, I think, right? But, they're talking about it already on ESPN. You get all the latest line on everything else. You could be doing that right now instead of church. That's the world's valuation. Paul says, I pray that you get a revelation of the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints. Because you know what? The church isn't the building and the chairs and the pastor and the pulpit and the music and all that stuff. It's the saints. It's the saints gathered together, and our testimony and our struggles and our victories and our joys and our sorrows all being shared and intertwined one with another. That's what the church is. And it's rich. And if we minimize it, if we keep the priority too low, if we hold ourselves back from really digging in and getting involved and opening ourselves up to relationships with other people in the church, then we're not putting the God value on the riches of his inheritance. Finally, he wants us to understand what is the exceeding greatness of his power toward us. This one's really interesting because Paul basically grabs every Greek word possible about power and puts it in this one phrase. Listen to this. In the Greek, here it says, it talks about the exceeding great power, that you might know what is the exceeding. Okay, exceeding is a word that makes me laugh because the transliteration of it is hyperballoon, which sounds kind of funny. But I'm sure that's not the way you pronounce it, but it literally means a throwing beyond. It means the idea is putting something in a whole other sphere. This isn't just a little bit greater. This is in another universe. This is in another matrix. This is in another dimension. This is way beyond his exceeding greatness, right? Let me find the verse again, verse 19. What is the exceeding greatness? And the greatness there is the word megathos, which mega, you get the idea just from that word. It's talking about the magnitude. If you can understand the other dimension, the other universe of the magnitude of his power. Here power is dynamis, natural ability, inherent. We get the words dynamite or dynamic from that. What is the exceeding greatness of his power toward us who believe? We're going to come back to that. According to the working there is energia, from which we get the word energy. It means the operative power. This is power in motion. It's not potential energy, it's the other energy. I forget the kinetic. Thank you. Mighty. The working of his mighty power. Kratos. Manifested strength. Strength that is revealed, that is manifested. You get the idea. Strength of his mighty power. Here it's not dunamis. Here it's ishkus. I don't know. Strength, vital power. He grabs all of these words, and someone who is listening in the native language would understand that he's like power, 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 power. He's just bamming them with power. Wanting them to understand, spiritually be revealed God's power. There's a reason there's a sunrise in the picture that I did today. Because the sense of it, and he says it, all this power is aimed directly at you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And one commentator says it's like we all are standing this far away from the sun and receiving all of that power, all of that energy, all of that dynamic stuff into us. It's aimed directly at you. God doesn't hold his power back because he's jealous of it or he doesn't want to lose any part of it. It's aimed directly at you. Directly at you.